If you're like me, then you're obsessed with coffee fragrances, especially around this time of year. Day 3 fragrances, La Tacita de Café, is the most unexpected coffee fragrance I've ever smelled. It's not cozy, it's not creamy, but it is different. Come back and I'll tell you a little bit more about this fragrance, but you gotta come back. Come back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, Smell Good with Jenna. I'm, of course, Jenna. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're into fragrance reviews, layering combos, and just smelling like you got your life put together, then you know what you got to do. Stay blessed, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So we're talking about day 3 fragrances, La Tacita de Café. I'm not sure if it's that known. I didn't know about this fragrance really until a few months ago, so this is one of the more, how can I put it, indie niche fragrances. And how I first came across this house was in one of the fragrance groups I'm in on Instagram. I noticed a couple people were talking about a specific fragrance. I forget which one, but they were just talking about how they loved the house. So nothing in particular stood out to me in what I wanted to look into with the house, but that's when I started to realize the name. Then algorithm is so funny. You never know what's going to go viral, but my top coffee fragrance video went viral on here, and I don't know why, because I put that thing together real quickly, but then I guess around this time, right, we're into more coffee type of scents and fragrances and what have you. So that went viral, and someone had mentioned in the comments, and I'm sorry if you're watching this, I forgot your name, but had told me I should check out La Tacita de Café. So I said, bet. When I went into my notes, I noticed that I did already had this in my notes of fragrances that I wanted to check out. I don't even know how I came across it, but clearly I had some type of knowledge of this fragrance and this house. So that's how I discovered La Tacita de Café. And as I mentioned, I'm obsessed with coffee fragrances and finding the perfect one. And I was intrigued. When I started reading the comments on this one, I was a little skeptical, just because although you guys have been watching my videos and I tell you I love masculine leaning scents, especially ones that I feel a woman can pull off, I'm always down for it. But when I hear or read rather in the comments that this gives off barbershop vibes, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to smell like the bro, as I always say. I want something that has a little bit more edge and different, but nothing that's way too masculine leaning. So that's what I saw when it came to this fragrance. So instead of blind buying, like which I typically do, I decided to sample, and I never sample, from Scent Split, this fragrance. I wound up getting it, and I'm like, yeah, this is nice. And I didn't really get that barbershop vibe. I don't understand why. I mean, maybe I can see it slightly, but it's nothing where as a woman you'd be like, oh, this is way too masculine. So needless to say, I wound up liking it, and we purchased it from Scent Split. And shout out to Scent Split, because they give you a coupon code, 17% off or 18% off. I forget how much it was. If you like the fragrance, you can go ahead and sample it. So, I mean, you can go ahead and purchase it discounted. So I was with it, and now we have it in my possession. First spray, I was impressed. It wasn't the coffee fragrance that I was looking for, and we'll get a little bit more into the notes in a second, but it definitely gave uniqueness, something that I wasn't expecting at all. I know the comments mentioned that it gave barbershop vibes, but I was still expecting a little bit more coffee to be in there. And based off what this represents, that wasn't that at all. So like I said, I was definitely shocked but impressed. So let's get into the notes. As always, in La Tacita de Café, we have Dominican coffee, brown sugar, vanilla, rum. This is supposed to smell like, what they say is supposed to smell like, is sipping café con leche with a warm slice of cake. I don't necessarily get that per se. I do understand, as I've mentioned in my top coffee fragrance video, as a Puerto Rican, I understand in Latin cultures, sipping café, specifically in the morning, is a staple in our culture. So I like the idea behind this, but it doesn't give me that all. Instead, you get this almost spiced orange opening, and then like there's a coffee note in here, but it's not prominent. And then you get a little bit of sweetness with the brown, what did I say, brown sugar? Yeah, brown sugar and vanilla. It's in there, some type of sweetness, and then you get the booze. So if anything, this reminds me of like maybe more along the lines of a spiced rum cake, if anything, with a hint of coffee. Beautiful scent. I think this is very unique, niche smelling, artisan type of vibes, but it doesn't necessarily give me, it's the morning time and we just made ourselves some café and just sipping at the coffee table or whatever the case might be, the dining room table. I don't get that vibe at all. I just feel like you went to a cafe shop, if you will, and decided to have. So I guess it goes along with that, but I don't get that Latin vibe that you would get wearing this. I get more you went to a cafe shop, you're sipping coffee, and maybe you're having a sliced cake. That's what that reminds me of. Really, really beautiful scent. I definitely got compliments. It's so funny, the fragrances that you think are gonna hit and people are gonna be like, yo, you smell so good. And that's not the case. This one, not saying that this is not compliment getting, or I didn't think it would be, at least, because it's very unique in my opinion. But I definitely wore this to work one day and someone told me, you smell good, what are you wearing? And I explained to them what it was. So you definitely get compliments with this one. Who's it for? It's unisex. So on the reviews that I saw, specifically of Fragrantica, it's not overly masculine. So don't think that if you're watching this and interested in this, it has a masculine edge to it, but I think as women we can pull it off. Ladies, if you want something that's gourmand, similar to Amore Cafe from Mancera, that's not what you're gonna get. If you're familiar with Mason Margiela's Replica Coffee Break, I would say it's along those lines. So if you are a man or a woman that's familiar with that scent, you'll enjoy this one. I think this, like I said, perfectly unisex. I think this is something that you can wear throughout the day, whether it's going to work, whether it's going to a coffee shop, whether it's running errands, even going out. I would wear this. Not going out in the sense of like a date night or you're going clubbing or something like that, but maybe to dinner. Maybe I think I would wear this more so brunch than anything. I wouldn't necessarily wear this to dinner. This is just a beautiful take on coffee that's very unique. Regards to performance, like I said, I was surprised someone told me I smell good, but I did have to overspray this one because I feel like this is very, very light. I don't think it leaves a trail, but who knows? I guess when you overspray it, you'll get some type of trail. I don't think it lasts all day because after a while, I did feel by a little bit before lunch, I had to re-up and spray on this one. So that's unfortunate, especially when you have notes of coffee, brown sugar, vanilla, rum. You would expect it to be a little bit more stronger, but it is a nice scent, just something that you definitely have to overspray. Okay, so let's jump into the layering combo. As always, we start with our unscented soap. By the way, I didn't mention the season that I think this would be perfect in. Fall is definitely the season you want to rock this. I don't find this, just because of the projection and performance isn't too strong, that it will work in the winter, but the scent profile does work in the winter, but I think this is more suitable for the fall. So if you're interested, definitely check out the fall check out this during the fall. But in regards to the layering combo, unscented soap, as you guys know that are familiar with my videos, and it's a coffee fragrance review, I absolutely love from Bath & Body Works, Coffee Whiskey. I hate that they only have it just in candles and not in the body care line, but I'm still holding on to mine. After that, as always, with a coffee combo, I use from Tree Hut, Iced Coffee Shea Sugar Shrub. This is, I believe, is this limited edition? I'm not sure. Yes, it is limited edition. So I hold on to this for dear life as well, but obviously to amp up that coffee note. Then we get out the shower and we use Bath & Body Works Coffee and Whiskey. Love this, and it goes with the vibe, just because this has an alcohol note. So you have rum in here, but you have whiskey in here. So I think that pairs really, really well together. And then from Ancient Cosmetics, their body oil that I remember they sent me last year, 3 of them. This was my favorite out of the 3, hazelnut latte. I don't really have too many, if any, coffee scented body oil, so I always use that now for my coffee fragrances. And then I just layered La Tacita de Café with Mason Margiela's replica coffee break. It definitely has the same vibe. I think coffee break just stands out and projects a little bit more, so it definitely gives it that oomph. So I thought it was a beautiful combo and just really unique, something that I don't think one would actually wear. Would I recommend La Tacita de Café? If you're into coffee fragrances, yeah, I think if you're like me and you're on a quest for that perfect coffee fragrance, you won't find that here. This is just a unique take on a coffee scented fragrance. I'm looking for something that's creamy but not overpowering, but just feels like you're sipping a hot cup of joe. But I think this is definitely just to have something different in your collection. It's unique. Not too many people are gonna have this one, and it's pretty affordable. I think, if I remember correctly, the price tag, the retail price on this is $150 or $170. You can definitely get this on a discount on Day 3 Fragrances website for 15% off your first order, or you can get it like I did on Scent Split. Either way, I think it's very nice to have in your collection and super unique. That is my video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're familiar with Day 3 Fragrances. Are you familiar with La Tacita de Café? What's your favorite coffee fragrance? Let me know. Stay blessed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, the best compliment one can get is that you smell so good.